So in today's video, we're going to be answering when to next go and buy SBC fodder. So just before the video does start, a quick little ad on a trading service I offer over on Twitch for the cheapest trading guides out there for just £4, €4, all free with Amazon Prime. You'll receive daily trading and investing guides covering PlayStation, Xbox and PC with an array of methods covering all budgets. And I've been trading for over 10 years, making over 100 million in multiple different FIFAs, and now for the last 4 years I've made 10 million coins in just the first month. So in today's video, what we're going to be doing is answering when to go and buy SBC fodder, because obviously SBC fodder has done extremely well this week and you guys want to go and know when is the next time to go and buy it. So first off, we'll just have a quick little overview on how well it did last week for those that are not aware. So let's have a little look how SBC fodder went and did then. So we start off here with the likes of 90 rated, who went from the likes of 34k all the way up to 60k in the best part of 6 days. We then moved to 89 rated, and these players went from 32k up to 52k. We then moved to 88s, and these players went from 17.5k up to 26k. We then moved to the likes of 86s, and even 86s went from the likes of 8.5k up to 11k. We then get to 85s. 85s went from 4.3k up to 5.7k. We then get to 84s, and we see that 84s went from the likes of 1.2 all the way up to 1.4, and then we look at 83s that are still stagnant. So that is SBC fodder week 1 and how it did. So what can we see from this? We can basically see that the higher the rated, the more profitable it was. Now, why were the low rateds not profitable? Now, the reason the low rateds weren't profitable is because they're more supplied, which means for them to be more, let's say for them to rise as much as the high rateds, they need to be used more. Now, a lot of people would say, yeah, but, you know, in an 86 rated squad, people are using 84s. I don't understand why, why are 84s not going up? If if they're being used in an 86 rated squad. I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're being used more than any other rating in the game. Well, that is because 84s are packed about 10 times as much as an 86, let's say, which means they need to be used 10 times as much as an 86 for them to rise as much as an 86 has. Which again, they've been used half as much, which means they're going to have half the rise in 86s because of the supply to demand ratio. Which means if you want 84s to rise, what EA basically need to do is they need to require as many low rated squads as possible. Because I'll tell you for free, in an 84 rated squad, no one is using 85s, no one is using 86s. They are only going to be using 84s and 83s. And this is because it's just not efficient for people to use cards above 84 rated in a squad that is 84 rated. So are 84s likely to rise? 84s and below, obviously 83s, are unlikely to rise unless EA start releasing SBCs that are made up of 20 84 rated squads. That or all SBC fodder rises to the extent where 84s are so good value for money. But, I mean, fodder has risen a lot and we're yet to still see 84s rise. So, to be in said position is going to be very, very difficult. You always need an SBC that's repeatable 2-3 times a day for 3 days in a row, requiring an 84 and an 85 rated squad or something like that. It is going to be very hard for these cards to rise. So we're not going to look at investing in them. What we are going to be looking at investing in is anything 85 and above. Now, 85s obviously wasn't the most efficient. Your most efficient investment was literally 90, 89s and 88s. The higher the rated, the more efficient it was. That's because EA have required nothing but 88 rated squads, which again require you to use one of these 3. There is a chance that next week we do not see this, but there's a chance next week we see nothing but 85 and 86 rated squads needed. But that is why. I think like 2 were needed for POTM Son, then another one was needed for Liao, I think another one's needed for Blanc, I think another 2 are needed for Rodrigo, might be 1 needed for Rice or something like that. There wouldn't be any needed for Rice, but basically we just had an abundance of 88 rated squads, but we don't have an abundance of 88 plus rated cards, which is why they've done so well. So that is just a little overview of how fodder went. Now, when are we going to look at buying fodder? So if we look at when fodder was the cheapest last week, post obviously Son and all that lot coming out, we can see that fodder was cheapest Saturday evening because there was nothing too amazing that came out, or the thing that came out was SAR, or we can see that the other drop was Saturday early morning. So my recommendation on when to go and buy fodder is basically going to be Friday 10 PM all the way through to Saturday 10 AM. Now, if you would like to gamble, because this is especially the case because we can see how much fodder's up at the moment. If you would like to gamble that there will be no good SBCs on the Saturday, fodder again has another drop on. So you can see right there, this is Saturday morning. So the first buy point is Friday evening through to Saturday morning. The second buy point is Saturday evening through to Friday morning. If I'm not wrong, there should be like another dip around here on a Friday. On through to Sunday morning. The reason these are the very low times is this is just when loads of fodder's being packed, but no one's really doing the SBCs. Again, it all just comes down to if you'd like to gamble that fodder will go and be low on the... if there won't be a good SBC on Saturday, which as a result means the buy times are shifted 24 hours later, which again is Saturday 10 PM through to Sunday 10 AM. Now, what fodder would I recommend buying? It depends if you want to gamble price ranges, really. Obviously, you can go paper with more favourable price ranges than the others. Obviously, last week we talked about going into Morgan at 34k because the rest of the 89s were going to go extinct, and that's happened, and you know that trend worked really well. Happy days, happy days. So, when you are looking at buying SBC fodder, please do stay aware of price ranges. Now, there's an easy sort of rule of thumb, and that is, if the player is meta, they're going to have a better price range than if someone is fodder. For example, Lewandowski is only at the moment 2k more than other 86s, but he's got an 80k price range compared to their 60. I'm presuming they go max price range and other players go max price range. It's worth looking at. It's like Morgan again has a price range, I'm pretty sure 20k more than the likes of 30k more than the likes of Rodri, which is why Rodri, you can max out 37k profit, but obviously Morgan's done really well, like we said earlier in the week. So yeah, basically I would only buy players that have price ranges where you can make at least 30% profit. And so which rating would I recommend going with? I would literally again just recommend going as high rated as possible, as long as there's at least a 20% difference between the current price and the max price range. Which, for example, on Benzema would be if he's got a 60k max price range, I'm going to have to get him for 48k or below. Otherwise, it's probably just not worth my time. And yeah, I'd say that is about all she wrote. Now, if we don't see a drop on the Friday, I would want to gamble, so Friday evening, Saturday morning, I would want to gamble the drop on Saturday evening, Sunday morning more. If we do see a drop on Friday, and it's not too significant, basically the more significant the drop on Friday, the less incentive it is to gamble on the Saturday. The less of a drop we see on the Friday, the more of the incentive is that the SBC won't be good on Saturday, and potentially we'll see the fodder drop 2 weeks in a row. This is a trend we saw a lot happen during something like Team of the Season, where fodder would become so expensive midweek, so it'd almost take 48 hours to drop over the weekend, whereas previously, like this FIFA, because the SBCs haven't been good enough, it didn't take 48 hours and only took 24 hours of the Friday through to Saturday for it to drop. So that is that. Now, regards to selling fodder, what you're going to do is you're going to go and sell it on Tuesday evening. Tuesday evening / Wednesday midday, depending what SBCs we've had. Now, the reason you don't wait any longer than that is because on Thursday we have Division Rivals fodder supply, and we have Marquee Matchup fodder supply. Because people know that, if we don't get anything good on a Wednesday, fodder starts dropping as of Wednesday after 6 PM. So you're always going to sell before Wednesday, and the pre-hype, if there's any pre-hyped icon SBCs. If not, you're just going to try and sell a little bit earlier, like 3-4 PM BST. And I believe that is all she wrote. Hopefully this video has helped you with buying the cards. Again, I would not look at buying 83s and 4s. I think there's a very high chance that they're just... The 84s of this year is basically like the 83s of last year in terms of how much supply we have of other fodder and what ratings are being required. But that is that. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys tomorrow with a brand new